a parliamentary panel has recommended a complete overhaul of the recruitment procedures for the Union Public Service Commission or UPSC Civil Services exam, citing the fact that a large number of engineers and candidates from the technical background, which includes engineers and doctors, are being selected in the UPSC. Now, the panel highlighted that over 70% candidates selected through the Civil Services exam in recent years hail from technical or medical backgrounds. The panel said that these candidates, the country is losing exceptional doctors and engineers by having them in civil services, and bureaucracy. Other than this, the panel has also talked about a more grassroots approach in the training of civil servants and having a humane and empathetic approach and focusing on aptitude and interest. This is what the panel has essentially recommended, an overhaul of recruitment and training processes. Let's take a look first at what have been the numbers really in the past couple of years, because the panel has said that doctors and engineers particularly are cornering a lion's share when it comes to the civil services seats. And if we can get that graphics up on our screens, to get a sense of what is really the number of engineers and doctors. So, selected engineers up from 46% in 2011 to 65% in 2020. In fact, the number of doctors that were selected, or number of people from medical background that were selected in the UPSC are down from 14% in 2011 to 4% in 2020. But the fact of the matter is that technocrats, or people from technical backgrounds, are still a majority when it comes to the selected candidates for the UPSC. And well, joining us now, a very special guest, K. Mahesh, who is the president of the Delhi Administration Officers Academic Forum and also a special director for the Union Territory Civil Services, member of the IAS Association. Thanks so much, Mr. Mahesh, for joining us on NDTV. How do you look at these recommendations of the parliamentary panel? They talk about how by having more and more technocrats in the civil services, we are losing engineers and doctors. We are losing out in other professions, when it comes to doctors, engineers and IT professionals. How do you look at this? Do you think that we need some sort of professional diversity when it comes to the civil services?
Hello.
Can you hear me, Mr. Mahesh?
Yes, can you hear me? Yes.
Loud and clear, go ahead.
Thank you very much for flagging this issue, which is very, very important. In my view, what is the purpose of a civil services? What is the purpose? Why they are selected, that is more important. Is the question of diversity in terms of professionals, whether to have engineers, doctors or social scientists, is that more important, or should we select bureaucrats who have fire in the public, who have fire for public services? That is the most important thing. In fact, the qualities which are needed to be a civil servant and the qualities which are tested, they have to be aligned. So in my view, the first point is that a bureaucrat, when he is selected, when he is recruited, we should look at the following qualities. Number one, he should have that fire in the belly for public service. Right. Number two, he should be fair in terms of decision making. He should be above ethnicity, above kind of religion, caste, and other issues. He should be fair in decision making. Third, he should be self-committed. And number four, he should be a candidate with integrity and honesty. And of course, the academic excellence is very important. But the problem is, how do you test integrity, honesty, self-commitment, fire in the belly for public service? Now, this is a very big challenge for the recruitment agencies.
That's a very important point you're raising, Mr. Mahesh. But let me bring in another question here. One thing that the parliamentary panel has said is that, this allurement to the UPSC dream, the aspiration of becoming a civil servant, that is the reason why we are losing good doctors and engineers. What exactly is this UPSC dream? And as somebody who's been in the civil services, what will your advice be to those who want to be civil servants? Should they, first understand as to what the purpose of the civil services is before being allured by this UPSC dream?
No, you see, the point is that a candidate is free to write the exams, take the interview. Now, this is with respect to any exams depending upon the degree which you have and the purpose for which the recruitment is being made.
Yes.
Now, in my view, the most important point is that what are the qualities which you are looking for in a civil servant? That is the most important thing. It's not the degrees, as I said. It's not the diversity in terms of professions. Maybe an engineer or a doctor, that he is more committed to the bureaucracy, committed to the needs of the members of the public. He's a person who's not driven by narrow considerations in terms of decision making. He is better than a student who is from social sciences or from other degrees. That's not the issue. Now, what I am saying is that it's not just the civil service. The problem is that the same civil services exam recruits diplomats, members of the foreign service. They also recruit members of the Indian police service. Now, the skill set which are required for the for a police officer or a diplomat, they are quite different. And you have just one common exam. We need to kind of separate them.
You know, the parliamentary panel said that various examinations should be conducted by the UPSC, and based on aptitude and interests, the UPSC should be allocating posts. That is something that the panel also said in its report. But, you know, the other aspect that the panel has touched upon is how we need a sort of an overhaul in the training of civil servants as well. They've talked about empathy. They've talked about, you know, having a more grassroots approach in the training of civil servants. Do you think that's important, and that will that's also significant in the way bureaucrats function today? You know, having a more grassroots approach and having empathy.
Absolutely, absolutely. There is no dispute on this point that, look, we need bureaucrats who are committed to the poor, who are committed, who have empathy, and they are ones who are pro-poor. Because we are a developing country, and a large number of people belong to the socially and economically marginalized sections of the society. And certainly, training plays an important role after recruitment. It's only training which can change the outlook of any organization, any service. Training and innovation, they are very important. How do you now design your training program? That is the question. For that, you need a kind of a training needs analysis. That's very important. That what are the competencies which you would like a bureaucrat to have once he is recruited? That is very important.
So it's indeed a step in the right direction, Mr. Mahesh, isn't it? The fact that, you know, now we are looking at some sort of an evolution of the bureaucracy, talking about empathy, talking about having a sensitive approach, you know, perhaps a more pro-poor approach. You know, who is the bureaucrat really reporting to? Is it the people, or is it those in power? So that sort of evolution, this is the right step in that evolution of bureaucracy.
Definitely. I agree that, of course, we need bureaucrats who are trained, who need to have empathy. But these are the qualities, you see, you cannot train them be empathetic, be compassionate. These are the qualities which a bureaucrat must have and must be tested in recruitment. Okay, that's one. Number two, it's not that in the training programs which are imparted, our bureaucrats don't have village attachment. They are very much sent to the villages. They have an attachment at the grassroots level. That is there. But we can still do more. I think there is a lot which can be done.
Absolutely, Mr. Mahesh. Thanks so much for joining us on NDTV. A very important discussion, because it really affects us all. How the bureaucracy functions in India is something that impacts all of us. And this is indeed an important discussion, and we'll continue to track that as we go forward.